Hi everyone, it's Lesley here from Elegant Edges and today I'm going to show you how I made this lovely mail card, or DIY card really, with the Trusty Tools designer series paper that's free from Stampin' Up at the moment in their Sale-a-bration account. It's great, it's free with a £45 order before postage from Stampin' Up, and you can order that through my shop, and all the details will be down below underneath the video. So to do this, I've got some bits prepared. So we start with a normal base that I like to use, which is 5 3/4 times the width of an A4 sheet, which is 8 1/4, and I've scored that down the middle at 4 1/8. Excuse the plaster, I've got a poorly finger. So I've got a piece of white, basic white, to go inside to write on, and that's 1/4 inch smaller. So that's 5 1/2 by 3 7/8. Let me put that down. Find the glue. This is my all-purpose Tombow glue. I just decant. I find I use less, so it's always good. So we'll pop that inside. Nice clear space to write on. Okay, and then from the designer series paper, what I've done, there are 2 sheets in it that they are full of tools. So what I've done is I fussy cut some of the tools. I didn't get the dies that you can from, there are sort of coordinating dies from one of the catalogues. I didn't get those, I just fussy cut. And one of the images I cut was a little tape measure. So I'm going to pop that one inside, because they're always on about measuring twice, aren't they? Measure twice, cut once, and sometimes I should take that advice. Okay, so then on the front, what I used on here was copper clay card that I've actually embossed with the sort of Hatchings embossing folder, which is still available. That's this one. I really like this one. It's great for all occasions, male and female, so very, very useful. So I embossed that. So before I used copper clay, and then I thought, maybe if I used crumb cake, that might be better. And it's choice of the embossed or the debossed. But I'm not sure, so I might just play and have a look. This is a tiny piece of designer series paper from that pack. And this is just 2 inches by 3 5/8, and obviously that mats on top there. And then I've got some more tools. So this is my sort of pack of tools. I've cut some out already, and there are some that are on the edge, and I've kept some of those. I usually keep them all and then see which ones, if there's any, I can use at the time. So there's a drill. Obviously you could use one of these giant saw blades if you wanted, but I think I like the drill. And then we need some tools. So to hold the tools, I made a toolbox. Now if you buy the dies, it comes with a die already, but because I didn't have them, I thought, oh, that looks amazingly like the Countryside Corners set of dies. So I cut some out. So I didn't use not the largest die, but the next one down. And the one down again. Excuse me, I always get croaky when I come online. Don't know why. So put these back before I do anything, in case I lose them. And you can see this is these were the offcuts. I tried the largest one, but I thought it was a little bit too big. So that's the inside The outside we don't need, that's waste. And so what I did was I just got my snips. And what I intended to do was to use the same frame for 2 cards. But it slipped a bit, so that's not very good. But I can still use this side. So that's my handle. And then to make the base, I put this piece on my trimmer. I cut off the wings, these sort of shaped bits, and now I've left a tiny amount there. I can always cut a bit more. Okay. Turned it round the other way. No, I didn't. I did it this way. And I was going to cut that in half too. But then I had the brainwave that if I scored the piece at the bottom on my trimmer, I would make it look like drawers. Now, I didn't actually make that a very easy size last time. I made it 1 1/4. So if we make it, obviously it needs to be less than half, otherwise that'd be 1 1/2. So if I just do it there, one of those little marks less than 1/2 inch, and score it, and this one needs to be 2 marks less than 1/2 inch, obviously, and the last one needs to be 3 marks less, and cut. So whatever that is, let's have a little measure. That is, it's just a bit bigger than 1 1/4, but it makes it so much easier if you have an easy way of dividing it in 3. So this is the base bit of my toolbox. So all I did was to pop some glue on the end of the handles. Let's get it the same sort of size. And played about with it. Okay, let's put the dies away. Now I can line it up on my grid paper. Let me do it up here, so I think you can see better if I do it up here. And then I can square it up. So make sure it's square with the grid paper. That looks better. Hold it down, and there's my toolbox. So I popped that up on dimensionals on my base, and because I've got sort of long thin strips, I used some of the strips of foam tape that you get from Stampin' Up that's meant for shaker cards. I use this quite often. I find it very helpful. Pokey tool, because I could go right up to the top. So let me get an old pair of scissors. These are a really old pair that I don't worry about. I don't want to get my nice Stampin' Up snips all mucky. Popped that on the edge. A little bit too long, that's fine, we can trim it. Okay. Do you know, it's really fiddly when you've got something wrong with one of your fingers. We'll just pop that in the middle. You really think you want to use it all the time. Oh, just a fraction too long. Obviously not so good at guessing as I'd hoped. And before, I'd actually put a tape all the way along to stop things falling out, so I think that would be better. So we'll pop a little bit more on there. And that'll stop my tools falling out the bottom. So I need to decide now, really. Am I going to use the crumb cake? Well, I think I will, just because it's different. Mainly because I don't like making two cards exactly the same. I do quite like that debossed side, though. Decisions. There's so many choices, and that's one reason that Stampin' Up is great, because you always get lots of options. But sometimes, yep, right way up, sometimes it just makes it hard to choose. So there's my mat. Here is my piece of pegboard designer series paper. Do you know, I think no, it'll be all right. I was going to put these up on black foam pads. I quite like the black ones when I've got something dark. It hides the pads better underneath, but they're well in, so I think they'll be fine. Okay, so we'll get rid of the backing. You know, I'm going to have strips on my floor today instead of those hexagon shapes that we all have walking around the whole house. Right, so let's pop that up there. And I'm just looking for sort of even borders, top, bottom, side to side. So in my mind, that looks like pegboard on a wall. I could have put it on flat. I can't remember what I did last time, but anyway, we're on raised this time. Here's my toolbox down the bottom. Okay, now I've purposely left this empty. So here's the drill that I've fussy cut from the paper. Haven't put any right on the bottom because it sort of overhangs from the pegboard. I'll just pop it underneath. Now, I had a saw before. Let me get rid of those old scissors. And the strips we don't need. Okay, so pokey tool, yes, might need glue. So I've got some of these bits here that aren't complete bits. These were tools that were on the edge of the paper, and I wondered whether they would actually, yeah, you see, I could tuck these underneath. I didn't have a spirit level before, but I could have a spirit level. That would look quite nice, wouldn't it? Spanner, yeah. So those will be good. Let's find some more bits in here. Saw. I don't really want a brown handle and a brown back, I don't think. They've got a hammer. Hammers are good because they're quite nice and tall. And that sticks out the top. And also we've got the variation then on the colour of the handles. So I could have a paintbrush. Oh, I've got a yellow one here. I've got quite a lot of yellow this time though. maybe a red. Well, the saw is a bit long. That one's a bit shorter. That one might be better. Let's put that one in, even though it's brown, just to be different, okay? Spanners, it's just a case of arranging these now. Right. I'll put a little bit of glue on here. Have him sticking out the sides, and he can stick out there. Right on the edge we'll have the spirit level. He can stick out this edge over here. He could do with a little foam pad. Let's give him a foam pad. You can have a foam pad on the base. There we are. That's it. That'll help lift him up. You could have one up there, but we'll see. We've got the spanner. So it's great to be able to use these almost complete ones. One spanner. Just cover up. Move over. Come on. Hammer. And it looks as though they're hanging then on the pegboard, doesn't it? We'll have him going flat. You can't have them all sticking out. All looks a bit samey then. Yeah, and maybe we do need a screwdriver tucked in. Make it look kind of really full. Or have we got enough? Maybe that way. Okay, that'll do. So on here, for the sort of handles for the drawers, I used, let's get rid of all these bits. I used some gems that these ones here. These are the adhesive backed solid gems because they're lovely coloured copper clay, and they're really quite lumpy, which is nice. They look like proper handles. So I didn't use the largest ones because I felt they were quite big, but I suppose I could. But yes, let's use some larger ones anyway. And I want them quite near the edge. There we are, that's better. There's our little handles. Now in the middle, I did manage to stamp onto some DSP. There is some paper which is all tape measures. So I managed to stamp happy birthday from Something Fancy. It's one of my favourite kits. It's got this very plain happy birthday, which is great when that's all you want to say. And I just made that fit one of the drawers across in the middle. So we're going to pop that in. It doesn't need to be raised because I've got quite a lot raised up here. So it can go down flat. Just centre it up. Maybe over that way a little bit. And I had a spare one. I'll pop it on the first one I did. I must admit, I do send mostly happy birthdays. Happy birthdays, thank yous, and sadly, recently, quite a few sympathies. So, there we are. Happy birthday. Lots of dimension, lots of tools, nice tape measure, and then I can write my own greeting inside. So just another way to use your Trusty Tools Designer Series paper free in Sale-a-bration. So if you haven't got a Stampin' Up demonstrator and you live in the UK, I would love to help you place an order. All the details are underneath. You can see this, and I'll put all the measurements on my blog. You can find that at www. And now the next bit's all one word, elegantedges.co.uk. So pop over to my blog. You can see the sizes for these, everything I've ordered, and I'll pop a little link to my online shop. And if I can help you place an order, that would be wonderful. And if you could get some free product, that would be even better, wouldn't it? Okay, so thanks for stopping by. See you soon. Bye.